Sup my little pulselings, how's it going? Hope all is well in your world. If you like the video, subscribe and you'll be notified when another one's up. Sup pulsers, thanks for joining me today. We are looking at Whiskerwood. Yes. Let's hear a little bit from the developer. Establish a home for your industrious mice under the oppressive paw of your cat overlords in a city build-up featuring complex stimulation. Sounds pretty cool. This is under Hooded Horse, which is cool because it's one of my favourite developers right now. Even though they're ignoring me, keep telling them to copyright the song Crazy Horses so they can do it at the beginning of every single game they have anything to do with, which would be funny for me. Let's go in settings. Now, leave the UI scaling alone. This is the demo. I'll explain why in a sec. We've got hold for bulldozing. I didn't do that just yet. You've got basic gameplay options, graphics, 1920 1080. That's all you're getting. Again, this is a demo. I'll gather to change that later on. Max frames per second, I've put at 60. And everything else is kind of just balanced. You've got nice audios. Key bindings. Yes, there are key bindings. We got all the way down. Right. Speeds, that's the one. I do not speed, that's not number one for ×1 speed. Change it to 9. So that's now so 9. Change it back to 1. Boom. Key bindings. Awesome. But I'm going to mess around with the UI so I can show you why. This is a small thing I think the developer will get sorted quite quick. So when you increase the size of the UI, you can get up to 150, which is awesome. Now, it looks lovely, looks large. People with difficulty seeing can play the game. When you're getting this, you cannot select the embark button, which means you cannot get off the screen. This will happen in game as well. Everything's crushed together, so you won't be able to actually select stuff or do anything in that mode. So even like a 125, that will still affect it to the point of you will not be able to see part of the screen and stuff like that. It's to do display settings. It's just going to be sorted at a later date, and it should be fine. Tiggity boo. So you're going to have to leave it 100, and you're going to have to, if you have difficulty seeing, do what I do, which is use a standing desk, go really close, or squint really, really badly. There you go. You can't have everything. It's a demo. Other than that, there was no difficulties in the game. There was no stuttering. There was no glitches. Nothing. It was just that one thing. You do get pirates in this as well. Now, this is the cool thing that I liked straight away, was the fact that when you pick your scenarios, this does affect the rodents. Some of them have better carrying strength. 6. Oh, that's quite high. Some of them are more inclined to farming and stuff like that. Now, the game itself looks gorgeous. So we're just going to embark. So we just had a little intro bit. This guy tells you to start off your dock, you go money. Now I had to restart the map because there was no trees here and no berries. They're all on the other side of the island, so I couldn't actually build. That's just saying it happens sometimes with random generation. Now this is your starting island. Now as you see, you have gold ore. I didn't have that last time. Copper, which is very valuable. You got bushes and you got trees. These are the 3 things that you want near your starting area. Now the camera controls are WASD. You got Q&E to rotate. You got zoom in, zoom out. The controls on this are really good. I like them anyway. Now, one thing I would say, do not build loads of pathways in this. This is how I failed the first mission, was because I built a load of pathways. Pathways use logs, so does every single starting building. And I had it looking really nice, but there was nowhere to people to live, which is a bit of a pity. But it's your starting dock. It's where your boat's going to come in. It's going to drop mice off every so often as well. So you build your little starting dock. The game itself looks really nice. The details are really cool. The little mice, when they start walking about, they even come in different shades. I want a ginger mouse. Right, spacebar pauses, by the way. 1, 2, and 3 do the basic speeds as well. Now, these are starting people. Some of them have higher carrying capabilities than others. Some are geared towards specialist things such as engineering guild. You got exploration, you got farmers, miners, and engineers.
Warehouses are vital to preserving the market value of your tax contributions. Each warehouse has a limited capacity. Watch that you do not satiate your warehouse's capacity on worthless goods. Focus on storing resources that will benefit the kingdom. Logs, cotton, and ores. These goods will keep during long voyages and supply work for whiskers in the royal factories. To reduce carry distances, you should construct the included central warehouse schematic near your trade dock.
Thank you very much. Now, as you can see on the right hand side, a new set of instructions of how the controls work. This is so that you can raise and lower your buildings. I think this is really nicely done, especially when you're going up and down other surfaces. This is so easy to do, and it's so very quick, which I do think some games make it a little bit more difficult to build in the background. This one's done a really nice job of it. Right, so we're going to get a little mice. We're going to speed up. I like staying in level 2. I'd rather leave it level 2 and pause it if necessary. I want a ginger mouse though. So you have flax, which is for clothing and stuff like that as well. I was going to pause that. So this will tell you your storage. It's 233 logistics. So you can change it around however you want. We're going on for a simple playthrough from the beginning of this, just to show you, because it is a tutorial, but it's got quite a lot of cool stuff going on. Now this is the stuff that you'll bring in from your ship every so often.
Congratulations to you and your fellow colonists. Under commission of the king, it is my privilege to offer this colony charter. You embark on a mission worthy of the greatest of whiskers, and all of your kind shall thank you for your efforts. As you tame these wild lands and earn the payment for your taxes, you are doing more than any whisker before you. With your sweats, you secure the means by which some industrious whiskers might enjoy safety. Serve your king faithfully, and his peace will reign over these islands.
Oh, I don't like that, cat boy. Now opens up your basic information tool at the top. Total whiskers, you can click on it and it will tell you who's working. So you've got total whiskers, and you've got when they're given jobs, the jobs will be listed down here that they are doing, which is it's quite nice. Right, this one, you've got construction workers. You need mice available to build, so you can't have them all work at the same time. Royal rack seals are to do with missions. Now, approvals, you can use this to get your mice to continue building at night. I really like this system. When you're first starting out, especially with the woodcutters, the second you build the woodcutters, stick this straight on. Now, woodcutters and berry gatherers will automatically go out and gather what you need. Miners will not. They will just sit there until you specifically tell them to go get copper or stone. Right, we've got certain food, you've got fuels, you've got logs. Logs are worth money, which you can sell to pay off your debt. Storage 377, due 8. So all this stuff up here is basically resource information. Now, when you get quests, they appear here. They have like a little question mark over it. Just click on it and you start the quest basically. Now the stairway system in this is pretty cool as well. When I'll start getting that done. Now down here, it will give you all the basic information. So this one will cost 1 log. Do not build makeshift paths, because all this stuff is going to be needed until you have all your logging industry up and running. It will just eat through all your logs and you'll never actually get anywhere. Now, staircases, you got different types. I only use the basic ones. This has a very nice system where I just tell you where you need to connect so they can go up and down. If you need to build more on top of each other, you can do that. So from here you can just build another one, or you can leave a little gap. They need to be able to get behind it. You could also increase it vertically. So say like you had one here, and then you want to build one now, and now, and then now. You can continue up like that. that system is very nicely done. So you want an area where you can get to berries. So I'm going to put one here. So my berry collection can get around here and here. And here. And then I'm going to go on to woodcutters, as this is one of the most vital things to build. I'm going to set that as high priority. Now I'm going to do 2 of these. I'm going to have a forager hut. And I'm going to stick that down by where my berries are not going to go. And I'm going to build a mining camp. That's basically going to be my starting setup. Farms I'm not going to do just yet.
Paying taxes to the crown is your primary responsibility. Most colonies pay their taxes with ores. Copper pays best.
That's just telling me that I've got to pay stuff. Right, 1, 2. And that will assign 2 workers there straight away. So you can also come up here. So I'm going to put 1 now, 1 now. So I have 1 construction worker at the moment. That's what you want to keep an eye on, that you don't tell people to build everything and you don't have construction workers. So when this comes in, I'll pause again, you can use your raw decrees to buy more mice. This is one of the best ways and the fastest ways to actually build up your island. So he's got a carrying capability of 4. I'm going to have him and him. And I'm going to have her. Like I said, I've only had a little go on this, but it's a really fun little game. Right, so I have got 4 woodcutters, 1 miner, 1 forager. So I've got 2 left for construction. I'm going to build another forager for now. I'm going to go on to, you can either go onto the actual miners to tell them to do something, or you can just come here and pick this area. So you can prioritize where you want your wood coming from. I just wanted to cut down local stuff. Don't really bother me where they're getting that from. Same as foraging, they go for local stuff. But your miners, you have to tell to come out and actually do stuff. And you have to select individually. Don't just click around the island, because they will dig out all this stone. Which is probably why developers don't want them just going off on their own. Look at that little area. Right, we've got some gold ore. Get some gold ore. You got to double click on that and you've collected that ore. Right, so we're going to have them getting their little bits of ore. Obviously you don't want them running around for miles away from where they are. The last thing to do is going to be housing. Basically where workers or stone shelter. Oh, I don't have stone, but I do have I'm going to rotate this actually. I'm going to have 1, 2 along the coast. I kind of like that. I'm going to have 1 up here, 1 here, and 1 here. So I said that one's high priority, so I come over and build it on first. Now you can't just pay off your dues, because I'd rather get ahead on payments, but you can't quite do it just yet. And again, if you have the UI bigger, this screen will all be crushed down into that corner. As you can see, like the graphics in this are very nice. But that's the only issue I've come across this entire playthrough I was doing, was the UI. Everything else works perfectly fine, which is well done, developer, because that's quite a hard feat. I thought it was a child. It's like a different size mice. Right, so we've got 15 logs. Let's let them get on with their building. And we need to start sorting out some food. Fishing dock would be nice. It's going to take 21 logs. Oh, it's going to take a while, so let's give you boys some overtime. Oh, I'm out of them. Oh well. Get as much logs in as we can is awesome. Well, we've got 21, so we've got enough to build it, but I want the houses and that done first. I'd love some more people. Now, once he starts collecting the iron ore, it's going to go a lot way to paying off these debts as well. Iron ore is a lot more valuable. I'm going to set that as low priority. Wild decrees. Up here. What we got?
Paying taxes to the crown is your primary responsibility. Most colonies pay their taxes with all.
Right, 2 camp workers and the mine. So let's just put second person out.
Paying taxes to the crown is your primary responsibility.
We've done a request, so now we get an extra worker, which is awesome. The more workers we get, the better. Well, I have 2 of those as higher priority. Got end of day. So, for a starting of this game, is really nice. I really like the way this pans out. It brings you into it nicely. It looks really good. Sounds really good. And like I said, throughout the demo, I've come across no issues, which is awesome. And being able to set these guys overtime is really nice because it means you get your island done a little bit quicker. Underground witches, what we got? Underground witches.
To the crown is your primary responsibility. Most.
Oh yeah, I've put 2 of them on there. I've got enough for 2 now, which is nice. So how many got now? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not construction workers. I will take 1 off. Yeah, I'll take 1 to camp until I can get more units. That really does slow down your starting game though. Well, I've got supplies. Okay, well, unload the supplies. Bring me people, please. I need people. So I've got a nice supply of logs as well. That's what I say, you need 2 sets of log straight away, because you will not make the initial taxes without logs. But there you go. I'd rather play this in a sandbox mode myself, because to me it comes across as a more chilled game. How many mice can stay in here? Log cabins. I can increase the bedding. Ah. Right, we got another one up. We'll have you move on to another area. That was Whiskerwood, the demo. What do I think of that game? I think it's a nice start. It's got some nice stuff going on. There are a few hickety-pickety bits. One of them is the houses. It takes a long time to get the houses up and running. Each house has room for 1 mouse. I think that's a real big issue. So the whole building side of this, and it's really nice. The graphics are really nice. It's a pity you can't build pathways. It takes up too much resources. But this, 1 mouse per house is yeah, it's too much houses, especially with the logs at the beginning. It takes forever to get these houses sorted. I know it's supposed to be a chilled game, but it's chilled and it's taking forever for basic things to get done. So I'm still building a fishing dock because it takes so long to get enough wood to do it. The day cycle, I think, needs to be increased double, maybe triple, because the days in this are way too short to get that much done. But other than that, it's really nice graphics, really nice building. The building is nice, easily explained, and is very accessible to people, even like people who don't play these kind of games a lot. It's very, very accessible. I do, however, think you do not start off with enough mice to begin with. I think you start off with 12 minimum, just to speed that starting process along. Plus, wood cutting, you need to... It's a hard one because balancing resources is quite difficult. I don't know if you can build them later on. So I couldn't find an actual forester. That's why I was looking on the farming side to see if it was the farms that actually allowed you to plant more trees. Because you're going to go through these trees very, very quickly because of how much it's taking to build each house, how much it's taking to build a basic fishing port, and it's also how much they're actually getting from the woods. So if you get quite a barren one, like I said, I had to restart this because the first island I had no trees on this entire northern face. So that means you're going to have to get into seafaring just to go and get wood, which you're going to need wood to build seafaring. I can see that being a bit of a loop. Construction times, they need to be at least halved. It takes way too long for them to build one building. Plus, you need to have a few people doing construction. They just build one at a time instead of helping each other, which is a bit odd. But like I said, there is a lot going for this. This has a lot of potential. Just that it takes so long to get your starting area up and running. This kind of reminds me of a game called Timberborn with beavers. You have a forester who you can use to grow trees right near your camp. So that's one resource you knock out the park straight away. This doesn't really have that from what I've seen. It might be added later on, but from what I've seen, I don't actually have that. But I don't like using another game to compare to the one I'm playing at the moment, but that seems to be quite basic in these games, having a forester for that reason. I like the idea of the pirates. I think that's a really cool idea, and it does say about ships later on, Royal and Navy, so it looks like you can actually go start fights, which is awesome. Which in these games, if you're playing a sandbox real chilled mode, that's cool, but if you can go and actually start a fight with someone, that's even better. I'd like to attack these guys, tell them to bugger off and keep all the stuff myself. That'd be awesome part of the game. But all that will probably come at a later date, because this is just a demo. But the housing is an issue, because not only that, your mice need a time to stop working and start walking back to their houses. Otherwise they end up falling asleep outside. That happened quite a lot, and my mice couldn't make it back to the houses. So I was getting negative happiness just because they don't have a downtime, which is a normal cycle in these games as well. So again, just increase the daytime, increase the resource production from logs. However, there is a space issue as well, because it looks to me procedurally generated. So there's not areas where you can build some of the buildings. Some of the buildings are quite big, especially ones later on. Even things like a sawmill, stone cutter, you're either going to be building on the sea, which you're going to have to use more logs for, because you're putting wooden legs on them, or you're going to build them on land, in which case there's not that much area to build the bigger buildings. I think that's going to be an issue. I just think there needs to be a distance between the cliff faces and the flatlands. That would help quite a lot. Anyway, that's just my opinion, and like I said, everything else about the game, the look, the sounds, yeah, it's got a lot of potential, and I hope developers all luck. This has been Pulsebeetle. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Keep the pulse, and remember, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see the next one, you can just subscribe and you'll be notified when it's up and running.